All right, this is episode 33, and I am with Heather Lefriec, and she is, she probably won't want me to say this, but I'm like a huge fan. Like I've been a fan of her. She's inspired me to become a better runner. And then I got to meet her a couple summers ago when we did Hood to Coast together, and then did the Swifts over in Coeur d'Alene. So I admire her and everything she does and what she's doing with the Spokane Swifts. But after I've got you all excited and, tell you all the good things, how did you get into running? Tell us a little bit about you and what you're
doing. Thanks, Tabitha. That is really kind of you to say. Gosh, well, I'm 48. I'm married. I have a 7-year-old daughter named Madeline. I'm a PE teacher, fitness and health teacher at Lewis and Clark High School in Spokane, and I've been there for over 20 years. So I'm busy with that normally. We're closed right now, so things are a little bit different. I'm homeschooling and then working remotely from home with my job. I have a husband who's an ultra runner. He's really crazy. So he is a crazy runner. So he does races that are 100 miles on trail through mountains. I mean, as crazy as you could be. I call him, he's kind of an adrenaline junkie. So I'm a PE teacher by trade. I love to run. I've ran since I was 17, and I kind of got into running just on a whim. I actually grew up a tennis player. Oh, I have a twin sister. I should probably tell you that. I have an identical twin sister. You know that. And so we get confused a lot. And because both of us run, people think it's just one person running a lot. So we're always being mistaken for each other, but there's actually two of us, and her name's Heidi. So we got into running later in high school. My senior year, I grew up a chubby, very chubby child, very shy, painfully shy. And I think I just got tired of being what I thought was the underdog. And so I took off running one night. I remember the night I did it, I was going to run a mile. So I ran in the dark around our neighborhood, which now looking back is obviously not safe. But I did that, and I started right after my very first run. I remember feeling really good. Like I could just take on the world. I didn't care that I was shy or chubby or insecure. And so I kept on running, and eventually ended up going out for the cross country team my senior year, and ended up placing at the Washington State cross country meet. And so I ended up getting a scholarship to run cross country in college. And I ran at Gonzaga University. I graduated a long time ago, 1995. And so, when I was growing up, cross country was more of a minority sport. I think it may still be, but it's so popular. I feel like running, we have a new running boom again. So that's been really exciting for me to see, because it used to be a sport that no one did, or it's just really hard. So I think a lot of people who haven't experienced the feeling from running, they just avoid it because it does hurt. It hurts a lot. And then after college, I started to get into marathon running, and I just figured that was kind of the next step. And so I did one. It was the Portland Marathon in 1996 was my first one, and I was in so much pain. I hit a wall. It was really ugly and really bad. And when I finished, I just was like, I'm one and done. I am never doing that again. It was the most pain I had ever experienced physically and mentally. But then you know how that goes. I had qualified for the Boston Marathon. This was in October. So everyone kept saying, you've got to go to the Boston Marathon. You've got to go. So I did in April. And then it just, since then there hasn't been a year where I haven't ran a marathon. Some years I've ran 4, some have been 3. I'm up to 47. So my goal right now is to get 50 in before I'm 50 years old. and a couple of my races got canceled this year. So it's okay. I'll squeeze in. I also got into Ironman in 2006 and 2007. I did the Coeur d'Alene Ironman. And I will definitely never do that again. I thought I was one and done the first time. And then I had friends who were at the finish, of course, and they're like, we want to do it. We want to do it. So I made a pact with them that I would train and do another one. And the second time around was a complete disaster. I finished, but it was really ugly. And I just left my bike in my basement for years. And I don't think I have ever been back in a lake to swim since. So, and probably won't. Swimming's not my thing. So I'm just a runner at heart. So I'll just stick with the marathon running.
I know she's amazing. You're fun to watch running, and I'm lucky to run. I remember doing the Winter Marathon a couple years ago, and I remember watching. I'm going to catch her this time, and then of course I got hurt, and yeah, whatever. But yeah, so now let's switch off to the Swifts. Tell us how you started this amazing community of women that come together, and they are pink, and they're there, and they're all, no matter what skill level every runner is, they're so good at their skill level.
Yes. So the Swifts, I don't want to say it came about by accident, but it was nothing that we ever dreamed of, how much it's grown over the last 12 years. So we started in 2008. There was a group of about 7 of us women in Spokane that ran together all the time. We're all about 48, about the same age, but we would meet and run on Saturdays. We had all ran in college. And then we found out that the USA Track and Field was hosting the National Cross Country Club Championships in Spokane, and you had to have a team of 7. So we decided we were going to form a team and enter this race. And we ended up with 3 teams. We ended up having 21 women that were interested. And so we had 3 teams, and it was very humbling, to say the least. And we all ran cross country in college, so we knew what to expect. But some of these club teams, like the Spokane Swifts around the country, are uber competitive. And, you know, they're still, like, girls my age are still super fast. I mean, they're just so competitive. So we got into this race, and we pretty much brought up the rear, which was okay because we felt like we needed to represent Spokane. So that was humbling. And then after that, a friend of mine, Janet Collar, so I'm going to give her credit. It was really initially her idea. She said, why don't we form an actual women's running club? Which it was just kind of like a mind blown. You know, everything has always been co-ed. We have the Bloomsday Roadrunners Club here in Spokane. And it's always been around. And I don't know, for some reason, we just all kind of, us women just kind of magnetized together. And it's always been mixed gender clubs. And anyway, so we decided to start a club. She actually named it the Swifts, which is a bird. One day I asked her, I said, what is a swift? And she said, it's a bird that flies through Riverside State Park. So I'm not sure if it really is or if she just made that up. And, you know, at first it was kind of like, oh, the Spokane Swifts, ha, 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 like these birds. But it's really stuck. And it's funny because I always say we were around way before Wassail, which is a women's running brand. And their symbol is the bird. We were way before Wassail ever formed. So, and, you know, it's turned into this really awesome mascot because birds fly together. They fly in certain formations to like help each other out. So it's been like an awesome metaphor for our club and our group. So that's how we got started. And then it's grown into, we have over 100 members. Officially on our roster, we have 140. And so we've grown, and we're just all about empowering women. And one of my favorite quotes has always been, the pack is stronger than the individual, which cannot be more true, especially with running and in life. It's like, instead of competing against each other, I've always believed in competing with each other and making each of us better as a group. So it's just it gives everybody an opportunity to be part of something bigger than themselves. And the coolest thing about Swifts has been watching friendships form. And so it's not just running, it's these women have become friends. They help each other through life. We've had children born, marriages, divorces, health issues. I mean, all sorts of crazy stuff. And we're there to support each other when you need it. So especially through a time like this, it's amazing how much you look forward to having that group to support you. And it's been kind of a bummer because through COVID, we haven't been able to meet. We haven't met. We usually meet twice a week, and we haven't been able to meet since, when was that? The beginning of March. So we've had a Zoom. We're having another Zoom this week, but we really miss each other. You know, it's like a support group. You get together, you run, we talk. I always feel like running really bonds people because there's something about experiencing pain together. You form a really deep bond that you just don't form with other people. And it's always been like that. And you can probably attest to that. I always say my best friends are my run friends. Yeah. And it's true. Like all through my life, it's been like that. High school, college, and now as an adult. I don't know. There's a special bond there that you sometimes don't get with people you don't run with.
Oh, completely. And when I did Hood to Coast with you guys, and I only knew, I mean, Jamie, she introduced me. She's like, hey, can you run in like a couple weekends? And I was like, yeah, I'm training for a big race. So that's how I got on with you guys.
And that was so awesome because the fact that you were just like, I'm there, I'm showing up, that takes a lot of guts just to show up for Hood to Coast. And then, just a week, it was just a couple weeks before the race.
I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I had a couple legs to run. I was trained for an ultra. So I was like, this is great training. I'll be running on tired legs. I was thinking all this, but the part that I loved more than like how well we did and how fun it was and how like hard it was, but it was also like you said, these women just like adopted me as a friend. Like they didn't even know us, and they were like cheering me on, asking. I'm like, you don't know who I am, and that's what I loved about it. And I was like, I'm in love with the Swifts because you guys just rally around each other.
Yeah. Yes, and that was awesome. You showed up and you did it. That's what we're really about. Like, just show up and give it a try. Sometimes we have women that will inquire and they'll say, I don't think I'm fast enough. And I'm like, yes, you can. Like, it's all about being better than yourself, not being better than somebody else. Again, it's like making a better version of yourself. And oh, well, if you're at the back of the pack, I always tell people it's better to be at the back of a really fast pack than to be at the front of a really slow pack, in a lot of things. So I might just show up, and they show up and they'll stay. I feel like our women are really nice. It's hard because groups of women can intimidate people. And so I always am really quick to say, we're really nice. Like, don't let what you see on the outside. This pack of women show up and they're in their pink uniforms at a race that can be intimidating. And everybody on Swifts is all about encouraging each other and just loving, enjoying the love of running together, the love of the run. So we're very inclusive, and we even take men. We've never actually had a man join, but if they do, they're more than welcome. We are all inclusive, which is funny because somebody asked if it was just a women's club, and I said, well, it is, but by accident. I mean, we never meant to exclude anybody, but we've never had a man, that's been interested, but they sure can. So, perfect. And our colors are pink. So if you want to wear pink, join the Swifts.
So my next question is a fun question. What's the first thing you're going to do right after the stay-at-home is lifted and you're out of quarantine? What's the first thing you're going to do?
Oh, I have a whole list. But I think the first thing I want to do is go to a happy hour at a restaurant and just sit out on a patio and enjoy a drink in the fresh air with other people. It's not quite the same, sitting in your backyard. I love to sit out in the sun. I just love it with people and just talk. It could be coffee too, but I just think that sounds so fun. And it's probably because, we haven't had that human physical connection like we normally do. That sounds like the number one thing. And then I have a whole bunch of, things we've taken for granted. I want to go get my eyelashes done. Things you can just do and
Well,
then.
the salon, like in general, my eyebrows, the roots, like.
Yes, yeah. Yes, a pedicure. I was just thinking I want to go get a pedicure because my feet are really ugly from running, and that's like a reward when I do a long run. I'll go get a foot massage. And it's just like, I can't even do that. I can't do any of it. But mainly I want to see people in a group and enjoy just talking with people outside or at a restaurant.
Exactly. Here's another question is, you have a lot of great life experience through running, all the things that you've done. What would you tell a younger Heather?
Oh boy. Gosh, the first thing I would tell her that here's Madeline wants to say hi. Say hi, Madeline. Madeline's 7 and she's into cross country running now.
Honor.
She does a club team in Spokane called Team Mercury. She likes to run, probably by default. She thinks everyone runs. Yeah. Hey. I'm not sure this is what it's like to have a 7-year-old at home. I'm not sure what the key's down. Oh, here it is. You can go open it. My younger self, oh my gosh, I would say just believe in yourself, and trust yourself. I mean, I'm still learning a lot, and you get comfortable as you get older, but I've always been so uncomfortable in my skin, and I was so probably more insecure when I was younger. And if I could have, you always say if you knew then what you know now, but nobody does when they're younger. But I would tell the younger version of myself to just believe in yourself, trust yourself, and just trust. Be yourself too. Don't try to be something you're not. I think we all do that probably until we learn that people accept you. I will say running's been the number one thing that's empowered me in life and given me confidence, really. I went to college because of running. I got a great degree. I have lots of really awesome friends. I've got to travel around the world because of running. So it's given me, it's helped give me the confidence. I feel like if you can run marathons really hard, you can pretty much do anything. So
I agree. What is your next race?
I'm doing the Chicago Marathon in October, if it goes. I had another one planned for June, the light at the end of the tunnel. It's one of the downhill marathons in North Bend, Snoqualmie Pass. And it just got canceled. So I'm hoping that Chicago will go, and I'll do Hood to Coast. They haven't canceled that yet, so fingers crossed. But it's okay if they get canceled. They'll be there next year when everybody's healthy and able to get back together. So I'm at this point in my life, my running career, I'm just trying to stay not injured. So
exactly,
it gets harder, and any day you wake up and don't hurt is a good day. I just aging's been a really interesting thing for me, and so I took for granted. You take for granted when you're younger, but I'm just appreciating being able to still run. You slow down, that's inevitable. That's what I would tell anybody that asks. 40 years old is good, and then after 45 things kind of start to go. But that's okay. You start to pick other goals to work on than speed.
Perfect. Well, last thing is, how can the community, how can us in the Northwest support you, the Swifts, or anything along those lines?
Gosh, I would say to support us, I would say number one, be kind, and just be kind and support your communities. One thing I've learned with Swifts is community is really, really important. And if you don't have a community, you kind of sometimes you have to go out there and find one. But providing that community for people is really awesome. So being kind and guys, just doing local events and starting something in your community would be awesome. I like to always pay it forward with stuff. So the way someone could support us is go out and do something awesome in your community, or you meet another person at a job or running or wherever and encourage them along in life, because life's hard and we can only lift each other up. So and bring out the best in each other.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks so much.